got it. Stand by for Titanfall.
What up, YouTube? Sean here. Okay, so I'm going to try something different this time around. I'm going to be making a video in my car while I'm heading to Sam's Club to get my tires rotated and balanced, because I haven't done that this year on this vehicle. Or at least not done by them. I did myself, I think, either late last year or early this year. So, yeah, this is also operating as an experiment, because I'm messing with the desktop GoPro app to flip the footage that I capture with GoPro while it's mounted upside down on my windshield. So one of the things that I'm considering, or that I'm thinking of right now, is whether or not to have the camera point at me the whole time, or whether to have it pointing forward, so that way you can see where I'm driving and just hear my voice. But unfortunately, for a lot of videos, that does not work. It's like, ideally, if I could, or if I could afford it, actually, I'd have a second GoPro that I could set up to face the front of the road, and that way you can see where I'm going as I talk. But I don't got the money for that setup, nor do I really need it. At least not now, because my channel's not big enough, and I haven't done this at all. Let's see, as this is my first time doing this sort of thing. But I can speed up here. So one thing that's sort of annoying about taking the turn down there is that you gotta really get your rear gear to get up that hill. So got our shit. There we go. And I would have taken that exit, except I wanted to avoid all the stop signs. Yeah, because there's like essentially, so 1, 2, 3. There's like 1 or 2 more stop signs there. It may not sound like it will make all that big of a difference, but since I take after my dad on a couple of things here and there, I take that sort of thing into consideration. And normally I just listen to over radio music, but as I don't want this video to get completely flagged on YouTube, like I tried with a different video last night, I'm not gonna have it on. Oh, there's a. This does not look good. Where is it? That's on the other side of the road, isn't it? There. What you can't see is that I'm looking at a car that is like halfway into the ditch. It's got a red tag on the antenna. Alright. Well, I've got no traffic ahead of me and no traffic behind me. Means that it's just going to be smooth sailing from here on out. So one of the things that I sort of wanted to talk about in this video with my ramblings over my head is that I don't know if it's going to happen before the end of this year or sometime into next year, but I'm considering adding a laptop to my computing arsenal. Now, if you've kept up with my channel in any sort of regard, you probably have seen 1 or 2 videos. Well, they're probably mostly going to be room tours, but they feature a laptop or 2 or 3. always sort of been in a situation where, because of my dad's work, I've always sort of had like hand-me-down laptops from, you know, places that are just want them to be rid of. But like I just said, they're hand-me-downs, so think of laptops that are just about as basic as you can get with no extra bells, whistles, or frills and all that. So they don't really have all that much worth when it comes to total CPU computing power. And a lot of those laptops are really good. They're really fine. I've used them for many years, like I've just said. But I've always had to be sort of picky choosy, as it were, with the kind of tasks that I use them for. That's a stray cat, isn't it? Or was that a dog? I could not tell what the hell that animal was. So anyway, I've had to make sure that whatever application I run on it is not going to overtax the system in any sort of fashion. And the other thing is that I've never been able to upgrade the storage / memory in them, so they've never been able to hold that much, and they've never had that much breathing room as far as RAM goes. I'm going to stop tugging for a bit here because we're on traffic. So is that okay? He's right there. I can go. I have to be careful with this intersection because it's a small death trap. Oh boy, cheese it. Wow, that guy wanted to kiss my ass like there's no tomorrow. Holy shit. Maybe I shouldn't have come out in front of him. That would be my bad. Wow, this guy has no just to give about kissing my tail. Holy crud. But so going back to what I was... Oh, now he backs off. But so going back to what I was talking about, is that so most of the laptops that I've ever used, that I've gotten as hand-me-down from my father, I just gave those back to him to throw back into the school dumpster, and I just said be rid of them. I think I've got maybe like $1 or something. I'm not sure, but I don't use it all that much. Wow, what is with this asshole? But according to him, the school's going to be recirculating out some laptops, which, according to my research, can have some pretty decent hardware specs. So I won, and they're going to be selling them for like $1 each or $10 each, something like that. Something really cheap come like springtime. So if you know anything about me, I can have a crap ton of patience when it comes to biding my time, especially on technology. So I'm completely willing to wait till spring of next year or whenever they do this sort of sell-out rollout of these laptops to see how they turn out. And if they turn out good enough, I might just postpone myself buying a laptop from Best Buy or something like that. Because, yes, what I intend to use laptop for, I need a lot of it. I need basically like some form of quad-core processor, so that cuts out anything that's like in the lower tiers of the mid-range, and it just leaves me with high mid or anything that's in the high-end range of laptops. But that being said, with the way the tech has been progressing as of late, even those laptops are becoming relatively cheap, like the HP Omen. I'm trying to think, how did I very impressed by the specs and by the price. But that model had the 1080p screen, not the 4K screen. But I'm going to make a note here that I don't really need a 4K screen in a laptop. Not saying that I don't see the point, I just don't need one. I'm perfectly happy with 1080 with a 1080p screen. One of the thoughts I have to tell you under that is to concentrate on my trade when I keep losing my thoughts. But, oh yeah, so the other thing is that I do have the intention to use this laptop as it is intended as a mobile computing device, so battery life is also a bit of a big thing for me. Because I don't want to have to deal with a laptop that only gets 2, 3, maybe got 4 hours under full load. That won't cut it. The other thing that I'm finding with laptops is that a lot of them don't include optical drives, which, to be fair, I'm really not sure how I feel about that. Because, a lot of, from some of the stuff that I've come across / read on the interwebs, is that even though your laptop may include Blu-ray drive, doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be able to play Blu-ray movies because companies have to pay some amount of extra money. I'm not sure what amount in order to put the Blu-ray codec on there. And in order to do that yourself, it can be a slight pain in the ass. And I know I've tried it. I tried that months ago in order to get out to work, and I've never got it to tape. So if you're hearing that vibrating right now, that's coming from the outside. I've got a car with issues, that's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, if I end up getting a laptop without an optical drive, I'm not going to really be bothered by it either way. Because, that's just how technology progresses. Plus, a lot of my stuff is digitally anyways. I mean, yeah, I've got Blu-ray movies and such I like to watch, but the thing is, with modern Blu-rays, at least with the deluxe packs and all that, which, let's be honest, those are really cheap compared to what they were 5 to 10 years ago, they'll almost always include some form of digital download, whether it's through iTunes or whatnot. So that really, that sort of negates that part of the issue. So you don't really need an optical drive even if you want the movies on the go. Because if you get a new one, or if you just import it yourself, because that's easy enough to do, just have the data either on a flash drive or on the laptop drive itself, and you just watch it that way. There's no need for the optical. So I'm getting fairly close to my destination. I got maybe 5 minutes left. The guy in the Jeep behind me seems to have calmed down. And here comes the sun. Which is funny because in my house it's almost all overcast. Whereas the sun's really starting to come through up here. Or down here, I should say, considering that I'm south of where I live. That's something that I find really funny, at least here in Colorado, is that south is almost as much of a major direction, if not a more major direction, than north. It's sort of funny. So yeah, to my laptop thoughts. It's like, so I don't need the optical drive, but it's sort of antiquated anyway. Oh yeah, and so that Jeep completely passed me off. He has a burner in his rear. Yeah, I'm going 55 and 45, so he's going faster than me, so he wants to take it. Oh yeah, but so the way I intend to use this laptop is I discovered that when I was doing a video conversion for one of my previous YouTube videos, that when I stick it in handbrake, the CPU usage goes all the way up, and I can, depending on what tasks I wish to perform, I can't because my CPU is being maxed out. So the idea is that I offload it to some place else to be converted, then I drag a converted file back, or I keep using the 6. My computer, it's a 6-core i7. I have that to do the conversion, and I just use the laptop for my other tasks while that's busy. But I'm going to have to pause these thoughts for later because I am at my destination, and I'm hoping that the tire center is not that busy. So, until then, I'm gonna get my ass parked, get the camera turned off, and I'll see you guys later. Alright then, well, oh come on. Well, gosh, it's hot in here. I would use the AC, but mine's broke. So, I'm now leaving Sam's Club after getting my tires rotated. So I'm trying to decide if I try to pick up my thoughts where I last left off, or do I start anew? This last thing I was talking about, if I remember correctly, was my laptop situation and how I'm looking into one to try to alleviate some of the workload that I get on my big computer. Now, granted, I'm in a slightly unique situation here where I don't game, at least heavily, while on the road. The only thing I could reasonably see myself playing on it is Minecraft. But then again, that game is widely known for being more of a CPU intensive game than heavily GPU oriented. Which again brings up the point of where a good CPU in a laptop is more useful. So the other thing that goes along those same lines is that would be how I teach my nephews how to play PC Minecraft, because currently I only have PC Minecraft on my main computer, which is where I've been doing Let's Plays from. So that's how that works out. There's also the offhanded possibility that with a good laptop, I would be a bit more family social. Now, let me explain what the hell that means. Being a gamer in general, but also a PC gamer, I tend to fall into the category of antisocial nerd, where I spend most of my time up in my room doing whatever on my computer, So that makes her the middle sibling, but I'm getting off track here. But like I was saying, she grew up in she's only like slightly electronically social, meaning that she had Facebook up until maybe last year or so, and she had a professional reason to not have it. But so whereas me on the other hand, I've grown up alongside the digital age. Where was I going with this? Started talking about playing Minecraft. Oh yeah, that's how. So yeah, it's me and her that live in the upstairs rooms, and there's only two of them besides the bathroom. So she's out of her room a lot of times, except like when she's doing whatever upstairs. But so I'm mostly upstairs all the time, except like when I have to do errands or when I'm at work or whatnot. So I don't spend a lot of time downstairs where everyone else is. And that's generally because I've always got something that I've got going on upstairs, either game-wise, whether that be game-wise, video-wise, or whatever else I happen to be doing. I happen to be doing it on the computer. So that's why I spend all my time with that. But we've got a lot of traffic up here. Wow. I've never had this here. It's essentially 12 o'clock. And this road has a lot of traffic on it. Huh. Yeah, this is Skunk Road. So I'm on a heavily congested 2-lane road. But so anyway, so it's like in my head, it's like I get a good laptop, I can. So if I want to be on the computer but be downstairs amongst the family, I can have the laptop on hand, we doing whatever, but also pay attention to what else is going on. And while yes, I could do that with one or two of the laptops I currently have, because they're underpowered to such an extent, it's like they can play a decent quality YouTube video / Twitch stream for a little bit, but then everything essentially goes to hell. Because they don't have enough they don't have enough headroom. Is that a military jeep right there? Yep, that's a military class Humvee. So any of the laptops I currently have, they don't have enough headroom worth of horsepower in order to handle any sort of decent audio, or not audio playback, video playback, let alone play any sort of game. Like, I did put Minecraft on one of them once, and it semi-worked for the most part, but it's nothing that I would want to really play on. So, yeah, I'm in a weird situation where it's like the one game I could see myself wanting to play on the go requires a big CD. And the work I want the laptop to do requires a big CPU. So it's like if I could get a laptop with maybe mid-range graphics card, whether it's dedicated or not, and a big beefy processor, then I would be golden. Stick enough RAM in there for some good breathing room and a good multi-cell battery, and I'm golden. Problem is, because I need a high-end CPU, they almost always, if not 100% all the time, throw a man, I've got air bubbles. These manufacturers always seem to throw a high-range dedicated graphics card or graphics chip into the mix. And what's about to complicate things with that is a lot of manufacturers, at least, let's hear, the ones that come to mind are like Asus, maybe HP with Omen, but Razer? Is that the other one I'm trying to think of? I can't remember now, but it's like most of those manufacturers are going to start throwing in like desktop class GPUs into these laptop chassis. And so, well, yeah, that's going to give a big increase in performance. It's also going to bump the price up substantially, whether or not there's holiday deals on them or not. That's beside the point. Another thing is that at the time frame that I think I'm looking for a laptop is these laptops won't be out at all. Yeah, my memory serves me correctly. These laptops are only going to aren't going to see the lab date until like next year or something. Which, depending on how I play my cards, yeah, that might be when I get a laptop, but still, I'm not going to be getting a laptop with one of those chips in it. I'm going to be looking for some of this stuff that's maybe current or one or two generations old and try to get it for a decent price cut. The other thing that I noticed, and it sort of ticks me off, is that some laptops don't have an RJ45 port. It's like a lot. Because to me, if you take off the RJ45 port, then you really cut down on, say, available network speed to the laptop. Because when you're at home, because when you're mobile, yeah, you don't want to be down by water, but when you're at home, most people, at least I would assume most people, would want to have their laptop tethered to the hardline network instead of the wireless one. Unless you've got, like, say, high-end wireless with in the form of like AC or something like that in your house, then yeah, you're probably okay. Which is not the situation at home. We've got like a 1 or 2 generation old Apple AirPort Extreme, and it's only got like, it only goes up to like N or something. And so, while we could just replace it with a wireless solution that supports AC, we have to have the entire damn spectrum, because we've got a lot of legacy hardware in the house that uses modem, we go to a Apple base station. I don't know if it's a gigabit base station or not. It might be, but I can't quite remember right now. But from the base station, one of the wires goes up to my gigabit switch upstairs. So among my network, I've got gigabit, but I'm rambling again for no reason. Point is that for me personally, in order to have any sort of decent wireless speed connection, we need to upgrade the router. Drink. Yep, that voice can pass me like, yeah, I'm staying. Nope, I was wrong. Even worse, it's a dog dart. So I did look into this a couple months back. I was looking into getting I was looking to convince my dad to let us get new wireless AC router, which let me clarify a little bit. He also is wanting to upgrade the wireless, but I cannot think right now for whatever reason. My brain just turned the hell off. But he wants to upgrade the wireless as well, and he intends to upgrade to the new Apple AirDrop Stream, because that's got AC. We use an Apple base station already, so that's just going to be adding AC to the mix and not much if anything else. So I can agree with them with that. I've got no problems. I just think it should be done. The only thing is, I don't know when or really even if either of us intend to do that, because I think what would have to happen is that either him, I, or both of us would have to just buy the darn thing in order for us to upgrade the network. Because the one thing that both of us are guilty of is that we want to do something, we intend to do something, but we don't actually do it until we're either forced to or we really force the means onto ourselves. Actually, Trashman came here. I've got a neighbor who moved out here and he dumped some stuff. I'm gonna see if he wants any of this. A lot of scrap steel there. Ask my dad about that. There we go. So, well, I'm home now, so I'm going to quit my rambling and turn off the camera.
After all, I gave you something special. Don't you think it's ironic you're the first boy I've ever kissed? 'Cause I'll be your last!